friends. Wanted to talk to you a little bit more about this transition that we've got going on here, this extraordinary kind of shift from one era to another one. There's an element that is kind of idling underneath all of this that doesn't get much press and much exposure in certainly the conventional media, and that has the potential of dramatically changing how we all see ourselves in the world. And that is a almost clear likelihood that there's going to be disclosure of extraterrestrial life. And at some time in the near future, we will begin an active and formal and open interaction with entities and groups from here and the other places in our galaxy. This is a huge thing, and you can make the case, I suspect, that the movie business and even the intelligence community and some of the stuff that they're putting out, the CIA's declassifying their information. This book is appear by July. They're supposed to make everything open that they've had classified in the past. By the way, that's not likely to happen. But certainly there'll be significant openness. And if you follow this subject at all, that you know is that there have been all these reports from the Navy chasing UFOs around for years now. I mean, they've had a big secret program going on for decades, and they've got videos, and it's just going and increasing and increasing. And clearly there's been a decision, certainly in the United States, somewhere deep inside of the system, that they're going to disclose all of this and begin the process of kind of engagement or formal engagement with the general public. Now, let me tell you something about that. That is a really, really, really big deal. And I'll tell you why. It's because all throughout history, throughout all of history that we understand at least, we've always presumed that we were the only ones around, and everything, all of our values and all of our sense of self, all of our purpose, all of the opportunities available to us were all constrained by humans and who we were and how we understood ourselves and what the shortcomings were. All of our religions, they talk about angels and other kinds of things, but let me tell you something. They all have this narrow kind of notion about who this God is that can't be described, but the religions kind of function as this transitional kind of mechanism for trying to explain the ineffable, and trying to make sense out of things that you can't otherwise make sense out of. And what you've got is a whole lot of people in science, because of the way that they've decided how things work, but with physics and so on. In history, because they think they know what happened in the past and have convinced us all of it by sending us to school and so on. In terms of technology, like energy sources and other such things, I mean, it just goes on, to say nothing about theology and all these notions that we carry around about what's our purpose in life and what this is all about, and this godlike source or whatever, where we came from. And these beings, these groups, by definition almost, are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of times more advanced than we are. They're not coming here blowing smoke out of chemical rockets or jet engines or some other kind of thing. They have learned how to manipulate and use the underlying physics. They understand physics in far different ways than we do. and it's more than just understanding it. They have engineered it into capabilities. They have, I mean, if you look at this at all, you know that they have the ability, clearly seem to have the ability to engage in our minds, in our thoughts, without uh, verbal kind of interaction. They can put thoughts in your mind. They can change things. I mean, it's just a really, really big, profound thing. And more than that, they'll probably come and tell us that all of our ideas about how we showed up, regardless of what your biblical or your religious book says, have all really been different because they or some other one of these alien groups has been involved in our past. And so it suddenly calls into question kind of a lot of the underpinnings, if not most of the underpinnings of who we are as a species and even as who we are as individuals. It's a really, really, really big deal. And it's bad enough that it reaches back and jerks the pins out from under the support structure that defines who we are. But in terms of looking into the future, it just blows that out. Because you suddenly are into capabilities in terms of energy and transportation and social thing, on and on. I don't know, the agriculture. It works its way into just about every area that we understand. Everything that we do is going to be changed by this. And more fundamentally, it's going to change who we understand we are as individuals and as a species. You know, it's all this other stuff too, the history and the future and so on, but it's also very much into questioning, you know, who we are, who we thought we are. That's going to be a problem for a lot of people. There are some folks who are really going to walk themselves back into the corner and say, wait a second, I can't handle this. You know, if this doesn't agree with my book, whatever book I believe in, or, you know, my group or my thing, they're going to have a really hard time. And that's, again, where this opportunity is for those of us who want to transit into this new world and be a part of the emerging new world, and help build it, design it. What you got to do is reach out and work yourself into that space and be really open to some of these new ideas and to these new kind of relationships. Now we'll talk more about it in the future, but it's not necessarily simple because, you know, just like there are people and there are people. I guess I suspect there are aliens and there are aliens, right? There are good guys and not so good guys, and you're going to have to figure out. I mean, what about enlightenment and awakening is not about being able to access this deeper, richer kind of sense of what reality is, and being able to sense and know whose interests are in lined up with humanity and whose are not. I mean, that's part of this whole kind of process. So this is going to be really fascinating. We're going to talk about this some in the upcoming sessions here of Postscript, and so I hope that you'll come back. If you like these kinds of ideas, then please pass this forward it on to your friends and suggest that they join us in the future. We'd be happy to put them on our list. And if you're watching this for the first time, down below there's a link that'll allow you to kind of get on our list, so that we will can let you know when the next issue that's going to, or next episode is going to come up, because we have no way of letting you know if you don't sign up. It doesn't cost you anything, so, and you can always quit. So we hope you'll be with us. Thanks.